Alright, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about must-have players for the 2020 fantasy football season. And for the first guy I'm going to list off, I made a video about him before. I called him the top 5 running back, and his name is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Before I get to it, stop being scared. Stop being scared, guys. Like, seriously, the amount of hate that Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets is ridiculous. Everyone is so scared to draft a rookie in the first round. But last time that there was a rookie drafted in the first round, his name was Saquon Barkley, and he finished as the best running back in fantasy football that year. So saying a rookie can't do it is ignorant. We look at his profile. He's going to be the workhorse on the historic Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes offense. Now, I made a video on him before, so if you want a more in-depth breakdown, definitely go check that one out, because literally I break this down all the way. But he's the workhorse on the best team in the NFL, the best offense in the NFL, historic offense. This is probably the best situation a running back can ever be a part of in this Pat Mahomes offense. Like, do I need to say any more? He's a first-round investment. He's a perfect scheme fit for this specific type of offense. He's a pass-catching back. Based on FFPC high-stake leagues, they have him ranked as a top 5 running back. High-stake league players are drafting Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a top 5 pick. Let me give you a little bit more in-depth breakdown on CEH, but here is a little bit more in-depth going into that. So this is a perfect picture of 4 stats that you need to know. Chiefs running backs average 1.76 touchdowns a game with Patrick Mahomes. 5 occasions where an Andy Reid running back has seen 100 plus targets. Chiefs average 32.4 points a game under Mahomes. Since 2015, first round running backs average 15.5 touches a game. Now on this offense, that's all we need. That's all we need. 15 to 20 carries. 15 to 20 touches on this offense, and you will be a top 10 running back. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is talented or not. If you are a running back and you are getting 15 to 20 touches a game and you are somewhat talented, and we all know Clyde Edwards-Helaire is talented. If not, they wouldn't have drafted him in the first round. He was projected to be a second round pick. They drafted him at the end of the first round. He was the first running back that was drafted in the NFL in a historic running back class. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be a top 5 running back this year. I would not be surprised at all if he was a top 3 running back this year, based on this offense and based on the amount of touchdowns he's going to get. He's going to get a ton of receiving work in this pass first offense. And pretty much any running back that's under Patrick Mahomes is going to succeed. We saw Damian Williams do it not too long ago, and Damian Williams is nothing special. So you take in a first round talent, like I said, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he will eat in that offense. There's a reason why, like I said, in FFPC leagues, high stakes leagues where people are putting thousands of dollars into these leagues, where he's going as a top 5 pick. So get yourself some Clyde Edwards-Helaire, especially in home leagues where people are going to be scared to draft a rookie in the first round. People are going to be scared to, invest a really early pick into a rookie. Like in one of my home leagues, I got him with the 17th pick. I drafted Zeke with the 4th pick, came back in the 17th pick in a 10-man league and got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, that's wraps. That's game over. I won my league just like that. So don't be scared to draft a rookie running back in the first round, because there's only usually 10 to 12 to 14 teams in every single league, and there's only going to be one winner, and that one winner is going to be the guy who hits the home run on his pick. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire later on in the draft, or later on in the first round, in the 8th, 9th, 10th pick, 11, 12, if he even falls that far, because he's going right around in the middle of the first round, he will be a league-winning running back, and a running back that you can count on week in and week out to get you a ton of fantasy points. He will have his boom games where he gets 3-4 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens this year, based on the amount of volume that he's going to get as a workhorse on the best offense in the league. I'm all in on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Again, click on my video. I go more in depth on why I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will finish as a top 5 running back. The second player I have on my list, this is a wide receiver who I must have, and that's a player I've been extremely high on. He is super talented, but his offense and his team in general has 0 talent whatsoever, and that's Scary Terry McLaurin of the Washington football team. We all know he's talented. He racked up almost 1,000 yards last season. In his rookie year, he was on the second worst team in the league and arguably the worst offense in the league last season. Alex Smith is back. That's only going to put more pressure on Dwayne Haskins to be better than he was last year. Dwayne Haskins is a year older. He's going to be better in his second year in the league. And if Dwayne Haskins fails, we have Alex Smith, a safe quarterback that'll, he won't wow anybody, but he'll be able to target Terry McLaurin and keep him afloat in fantasy football leagues as a high-end wide receiver 2, mid wide receiver 2, somewhere around that range. I think this is a situation where we have to look at it and assume that the talent is going to prevail on this offense. Because if we look at this offense, who do they have? Nobody. They have zero talent whatsoever. Terry McLaurin, especially with the Kelvin Harmon injury where I think he tore his ACL or something, but he's out for a while. So this team has absolutely zero talent on the wide receiver position. They're going to have to feed Terry McLaurin this year, and a team that's desperate for a playmaker. They are desperate for anything on this offensive side. I think they're going to have to feed Terry McLaurin a lot if they want even to have a chance of winning games this season. All he needs is his quarterback play to be average, and he's going to be great. He's going to be a high-end wide receiver 2, a low-end wide receiver 1 if his QB play is average. That's all we are asking for. So for a player being drafted as the wide receiver 23, that's his floor. That's his absolute floor. I would not be surprised if he plays a full 16 games that he's a top 15 wide receiver, top 12 upside. So I love Scary Terry this year. His upside is going to be, or his ceiling is going to be a little capped just because of the team that he's playing for. But as the wide receiver 23, that's his absolute floor. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver 2 this year. He was a wide receiver 2 last year for a portion of the season. So he comes in a year older, a year more experience in the NFL with hopefully better QB play. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. The offense is, I don't think it can get any worse than what it was last year. So I absolutely love Scary Terry McLaurin. He's being drafted at his floor. Go ahead and draft him. He's a must-own guy for me personally at the wide receiver position. A quarterback who is a must-have for me is the most disrespected player, the most underrated quarterback in the entire league, and that's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is being drafted as the quarterback 12, and he plays Washington week 1. That should be enough of a reason for you to draft him in general. In 10-man leagues, he's not even being drafted as a starter. And in 12-man leagues, he's being drafted as barely a starter, as the 12th quarterback off the board. But he plays Washington week 1. So even if you strike out on the quarterback position, this guy should be on top of your priority list because he plays one of the worst defenses in the league week 1. And we know he's talented, and we know he's going to get an upgrade at the wide receiver position on the offensive side. Last year, let's take a look at his season last year. It was a disaster year for the Eagles, where they pretty much had every single wide receiver go down and get injured. So what do this year? They bring in a first-round talent in Jalen Reagor, who's already looking amazing in training camp. He's looking to make an impact right away. A lot of beat reporters are saying that they also spent a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick on a wide receiver to ensure themselves. Deshaun Jackson is back and healthy. We know he only played 1 game last season, and that was week 1, and then he just disappeared. Miles Sanders and Boston Scott are both receiving running backs. Miles Sanders is going to come into his 2nd year in the league. He's going to be better. He's going to be more experienced, like I said. And they also have 2 arguably top 10 tight ends in terms of talent-wise, with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. It couldn't get any worse last year for Carson Wentz based on the offensive side, based on his offensive weapons. So this year, it's only going to go up from here. So if he was the quarterback 9 last year with Greg Ward as his wide receiver 1 last year, and he's being drafted as the quarterback 12, again, another player where you are drafting him at his absolute floor, and I don't know why he's being so disrespected now. He only needs just a little bit of talent on the offensive side, and he just needs to stay healthy, and he will produce quarterback 1 numbers once again this season. And in a division where the Eagles play the Washington football team twice a year and the Giants twice a year, both of those defenses are absolutely terrible. Give me Carson Wentz all day. I think he has a pretty good schedule, and if his weapons can just stay healthy, and if his weapons can just stay intact just a little bit this season, Carson Wentz will produce for your fantasy football team. Again, he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. In my personal opinion, I think he is the most underrated quarterback in the league. The talent is there. The weapons are there. They're at least an upgrade from last year if you don't think they're that good. He finished as the quarterback 9 last season with Greg Ward as his wide receiver 1 last year. It couldn't get any worse then. So if he finishes a QB9 last year, he's going to finish way better than that this year, obviously. So he's being drafted as a quarterback 12. his absolute floor, go ahead and draft him. He's a must-own guy for me, just based on the fact alone that he plays Washington week 1 if you're looking to stream a quarterback. That's all I got for Carson Wentz. Please get him on your team, because if you can wait a while, if you can wait a little bit on the quarterback position like I do in all of my drafts and get a guys like Carson Wentz or Matthew Stafford or a guy like that, that is league winning material. So wait on a quarterback and get yourself some Carson Wentz. The last player I have on my list for a must-own guy is tight end Noah Fant. So Noah Fant, we look at his athletic profile and it's through the roof. It's on par with a guy like Saquon Barkley. It's up there at the tight end position. He is an athletic freak, and that's what we want. That's what we want from a late round tight end, a late double-digit dart that we can throw. A guy who's extremely talented, a generational prospect at the tight end position. So we take a look at his rookie season, and he had kind of a similar rookie season to George Kittle, in where he posted 500 receiving yards, and he looked pretty good. It takes a while for tight ends to establish themselves, and in their rookie season, no tight end is gonna do anything. We've only seen it once with Evan Ingram, and that was off. That barely happened. For a guy like Noah Fant to show us a little bit in his rookie season, that is really impressive, especially when you consider that his quarterback play was Joe Flacco, Brandon Allen, and a little bit of Drew Lock later down in the season. Definitely super impressive with him. And if we take a look at all the elite tight ends in the league, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, they all broke out in the second year in the league. So if I'm going to target our later round tight end, a double-digit round tight end, Noah Fant has as good of a chance as anyone to break out. We take a look at his profile this year, and he's competing with Cortland Sutton and the two guys that they drafted in with also Albert O, which is Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and Albert O. It all basically comes down to, can Drew Lock lead this team? Can Drew Lock take that step forward on this offense and help Noah Fant reach his ceiling in his second year in the league? And by his ceiling, I mean top 6, top 5 tight end. That is his ceiling this year. So we know the talent is there, but can Drew Lock come and play? Can he come and actually help Noah Fant, help Cortland Sutton? And for a player this talented and this special, I'm willing to take a shot on him all day. He's being drafted as the tight end 12, somewhere around there in the double-digit rounds. He has as good as a shot as any single tight end in the double-digit rounds to break out. So I absolutely love Noah Fant in his second year in the league. In his second year in the league, again, it all comes down to if Drew Lock can put the pieces together and find a way to produce and find a way to give volume to all these weapons that the Denver Broncos have given him. The talent is there. We need Drew Lock to step up. And as my backup tight end, I'm going to take that all day. I think Noah Fant has amazing upside in this offense, an amazing upside just because of the player he is. He is a special generational type of tight end athlete, type of tight end prospect. So I love Noah Fant in his second year in the league just based on his athletic profile. So go ahead, target Noah Fant and target all of these guys. I gave y'all a running back, a wide receiver, a quarterback, and a tight end who are must-have guys for me in fantasy football 2020, and I expect these guys to have great seasons. So target all of these guys who I've mentioned in this video, and that's all I have for y'all. See y'all later.